Ladies and gentlemen, WordPress users all across the world. Maybe. Maybe we're worldwide. I don't know. We regional? Worldwide? Not sure. Let's double check. There we go. Audio works. Fantastic. Um, so here's the thing. I have been using WordPress since 2018. And if you've been watching some of the content recently, you've seen some of the videos that I made where more recently I've gotten more involved in the community. And that has changed the way in which I think about the platform and things that I use and the way that I do stuff. And obviously, you've seen some of that in just from the channel itself, right? We have moved from Elementor to Bricks. We have talked about different things here and there. I have my headphones in here today because I plan on watching some videos and kind of doing a little bit of live react stuff because I really want to do that along these topics just to kind of have a conversation. Eventually, we're going to have people on here. We can have discussions and things like that. Really looking forward to that. I've had some good conversations so far with many people in this community, and I'm just excited to continue to have those because I think there's a lot of value that we can continue to exchange back and forth. And, you know, when you have a good conversation between two people that maybe agree on some things but not others, and you have an actual just long form discussion, the audience wins. You know, that's the big thing there. So you guys, if you're developers, agency owners, if you're just people that are just interested in WordPress or websites in general, that's what happens. That's what goes on. That's it's beautiful to me, the conversation, everything like that. So today, we can maybe get into some technical stuff a little bit later if we're interested in that, but I'll just cover a few quick announcements, I'll say, and then we will we'll talk about, you know, the title of this video, which is State of WordPress, which I just love talking about. Like I said, honestly, it's one of my favorite things so far that I've been I guess privileged enough at least to be in the conversation to some degree, I guess I want to say, but really it's just me like kind of talking to a camera and then some people watch it. So it's nice. But yeah, so let's talk about this real quick. Maybe I can pull up a couple quick things here on my end. But really the main things that I want to talk about are as far as announcements go real quick, as we made public the next video in the client portal series here. Let me see if I can switch screens over to here, our lovely restream tool. Cool. So if we go here and we take a look at our client portal series, if you just type in wpclientportal.co, you'll go directly to this page, which is the playlist for the client portal series. Today we released the archiving and template, part 4, archive templating and conditions. And in that video, it's just me talking about the first steps as far as like building layouts and things, taking the information that we've done in the past there, the relations, the custom post types, and building our first one, which is websites. So if you're using websites or companies or what have you, that main archive, I created that, and we set some conditions. So only the people that are associated with like website X can see website X. And it's, I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited with the way this is going. So there's many more videos to come in this. Really want to take a quick second to say I appreciate all of the support on this series specifically and just in general. But a lot of people have talked about, you know, how they've been looking for other guides and things like that. And I made those other videos in the past, and I think there's just a lot of, I'm very appreciative of you guys supporting this series so far. So hopefully it'll be some good content continuing, and we can continue to help you guys out as far as building this, your client portals out. A lot of different things. And like I said, last bit on that is if you have any questions or specific things that you want to see, always drop them in like a comment of the video. I try to respond to literally every single comment that I ever get on any video. Also, like I'm on Twitter and stuff like that, so you could DM me. But yeah, so that's just a quick update on that. Random other quick update is I had to literally reset my entire PC here because there was some sort of Windows Insider program. So some of the things, I don't think we should have any issues, but changed up a couple things as far as the way that I handle a few things. So just Word to the wise, don't be on the Windows Insider program on the machine that you use very regularly. That is not a good plan. Don't join any betas on production machines. That was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but that's behind us here. Let's continue. All right. So here's the real kind of meat and potatoes, and the reason that I want to talk about this, because I've been having conversations, like I said, with everybody. We had, last couple weeks here, we had the bricks vulnerability and all sorts of stuff like that. And just, I'm really getting in, like I said, into the community, building these relationships, talking to other people about how to build better WordPress websites, how to build better agencies, the direction of the whole platform, like what you should even be building websites on. And I need to throw a bunch of prefaces in here, and I'll switch back here for a second. I need to throw a bunch of preface in the beginning of this. I don't have, I have an opinion. Obviously, I have a ton of opinions, but not all of those opinions are kind of like set in stone for a couple reasons. One, what I'm realizing is a lot of people in this WordPress community have been in here for a long time. And by long time, I mean since like inception, or, like 20, or, like 2005, like way back then. I have only been in the WordPress community since, like, using WordPress since 2018, right? And again, even more recently is where I've kind of dove in like deeper. So the concepts that I see and the things that I hear, I always like try to get as much detail as possible from the people that have been here the longest, and some people that have been here the shortest, and people that have been here in different. I want to hear everybody's story. That's why we're going to have people on here from different walks of life and things like that too, as we continue to create content, because I want to have those conversations around these things, because I want to see what people's opinions are and what their perspective is, because I think perspective is valuable. So I've been doing that, and what it's taught me is that, one, everybody has a different perspective based on how long you've been, everything like that. Everybody has their preferences of like builders and their opinions on like whether you should use WordPress, whether you shouldn't use WordPress, and all sorts of other stuff. And here's the nuance part. And here's like the main thing that I do not hear talked about enough. And I will do my absolute darndest to make sure that this is the thing that comes up almost every single time that I talk about these things moving forward, is I want to make sure that I definitely talk about the nuance of everybody's perspective is different, everything like that, but everybody's like reason for building websites is different. And then everybody's situation surrounding that is different. And I just think that I don't want to say nobody, but very few people like actually like understand that, or like, not that they understand that. It's like very few people actually like think about that or explain that in some sort of a way and preface all of their content with that. Now, I know that's not an easy thing to do, and I've probably said this before, but my point being is that the way I run my agency and the goals that I have for myself as a business owner might be completely different than the things that you have for yourself, or that WordPress.org has for the platform. And that's like fortunate/unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's a very relevant conversation that I feel like a lot of people a lot of times just brush off for many different reasons. One, they just don't care. Valid. Two, they already have their opinion set and they're not looking at a different thing. Okay, whatever. Three, they don't think it's relevant. I would actually push back heavily on that. I think it's very, very relevant. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit here with different things, but I don't know. I just think that there's a lot there. And but I want to preface this by saying, I don't know what happened with the camera there. Hopefully it stays on. Hello, Newman. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack. And I think that a lot of times people are just like super, high level. And what's up, Evan? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for hopping on. But I think there's a lot there. So my point is that, if we just dive into this thing, let me just kind of go into it. Like I said, to preface, I'm never trying to like dig at anybody specifically or anything like that. I'm just literally observing and consuming content from other people and then processing that and then giving kind of my perspective on it and trying to ask some critical questions. Again, when we're having this isn't the best way to do this. Obviously live is pretty good, but it's not the best if we don't have like other people here chatting and stuff like that. Obviously you can find people in the comments for sure. But I'm saying like, we'll have more of these actual discussions, but for the time being, this is what we got. So we're going to do it. So let me slide over here. And let me just start with something easy here. Yesterday, I saw a post on Twitter. I don't know if it came up, I guess, in my For You or whatever. And I think it was from this gentleman over here, Ben Layer WP. I don't know him entirely, but I know that he's a voice here in the WP community. The thing is deleted now, but it just basically said like WP is like a shit show. Like, what do you see as the, and I'll show you a secondary tweet in a second. But again, this is not even about Ben. It's just the situation. It's just like a part of this. So Ben, if you're watching this or if you hear about this, has nothing to do with you. I'm using this as an example. But he basically said he had since deleted it because he put another tweet out saying that like, he was like, he had, he was kind of like coming from a place of emotion and everything like that. But again, this isn't about him. It's hard to not make it about him. His name's right there. But I think this is a great little snapshot, okay, of what the whole thing is right now, okay? And I'd love to have a more nuanced conversation, hopefully one day with Ben about this type of thing or in other people. But here's the thing. It's like he said he woke up this morning, about Twitter. Yesterday, I made a stupid comment about WP being a shit show. It's not. The tweet, since deleted, came from a place of anger, separate from WP last job. Okay, so regardless of what he has going on there, that is a very like normal thing. I feel like there's a lot of people that, regardless of what camp you're in, what tools you use, whatever, there's like just a lot of like confusion. I mean, I get it literally from all sides. So I don't know how like we're not talking more about this. And I've only been paying attention for less than a year. So like the people that have been in here for longer, I don't know what's going on. But like you're looking at this stuff and the original one was like WP's a shit show. What do you think the solution is? Like, what do you like? That was basically the essence of the first one. And I like was looking at that and I was like, this is a very interesting tweet. I want to like give my thoughts on it. So I say the beauty and curse of WP is the amount of options we have. I currently use Bricks, but it's because it's the best that I've tried. Again, as you guys know, I came from Elementor. And now I think Bricks is just the best thing that I've personally found. It makes me feel like a developer. It makes me feel like a person that it makes me feel better about the product that I'm doing because the code's cleaner. So many different things. We could talk about that for days. But the point is, continuing here, I don't have a strong preference on which way the WP ecosystem goes. I'll unpack that. But I would like to see the WP keep its market share. And I'll unpack that as well. If the direction of WP.org starts to not sit well with the majority of the community, other platforms like Webflow will gain ground even quicker than they already are. Now, again, let me unpack this for you guys here. My perspective on that now that we, I hate text. I literally hate text because you can only unless I sit there and write a book, I'd rather just go live or make a video or whatever, or have a conversation. It's way easier. But the essence of that was that I don't want to see WP. The thing that everybody says, and I'll reference a couple other videos here in a second that are really good as well. The thing that WP says, if you ask why people use WordPress or whatever, most of the time people are going to say the market share. They're going to be like, 40% of the internet is built on WordPress. That's fucking amazing, truthfully. Like, it's amazing that Matt Mullenweg was able to, create that with all these different people. And it's truly baffling. The perspective that I have on it, though, and again, I feel like it's like weird. Sometimes this is just overlooked, is that you've created something this fucking powerful and this huge. And the next step of it is I think like super critical. I think in the description of this video, if you look right now at the bottom, is like, this is a very critical point in the WordPress's lifespan. Is the audio messed up? I don't know if it has anything to do with Restream or my headphones here, but I may be able to fix that kind of in post. If it's really bad, let me know. But I don't know if there's any. Let's see if this works. Tell me if that's any better. I changed a different setting there. Appreciate that, Evan. But regardless, if it's bad, I'll fix it in post too. But anyway, the state of WordPress and kind of everything like that, we're in like a very critical point of like where we're going, right? I think there's a lot of people that have a nice, sweet, appreciate it, Evan. There's a lot of people that have a different different opinions and everything like that, like I said. But the current situation with WordPress now is that WP Core has like, the kind of the committee agenda and everything like that. And regardless, again, I'm not casting judgment on whether it's right or wrong. I'm just kind of saying what it is. And then you have other people, and this is the biggest thing that I've seen. Okay, is I've seen that like there's two super generalized, but two general distinct differences in the ways that people think about uh I don't know, WordPress in general in this community. And it's a spectrum, but like at one end of the spectrum is like completely open source, voluntary, everything for free. We're just making like an incredible blogging platform almost. And then the other end of the spectrum is like, wow, this is an incredible tool that I want to use to make money for my business in some way, shape, or form, whether that's product or service or what have you. Again, maybe too generalized, but the point is that is, I mean, every conversation I go into now, I go in and I immediately I immediately like think where somebody is on that spectrum. And again, I'm not saying one is good or bad. I'm just saying like that is the case. Like you cannot that it's part of it. You have to factor that into the equation. And then once you do that kind of like quick little psychological assessment of the conversation you're having, then you have to like understand what people actually want out of this platform. And it's very difficult to understand sometimes because you don't know if people just like want this to be the best like blogging platform ever or whatever. To summarize like 20 years of WordPress and all that, it seems like it was the best thing the quickest. Like it was before, it beat everybody to the punch, right? It was like really, really, really good for a long time. And it still is very good. But now people have like looked at it. They've seen like maybe some of the weak points, the web flows, the framers, the Wixes, the Squarespaces, and they've all had time to catch up. And now we're at this position where as a business owner in this thing, which again, as soon as you say business owner, sometimes like, it's like, well, this isn't about business. Okay. But like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, as soon as you put yourself in kind of one of those camps, it seems like sometimes there's a difference of the way that the conversation is had. And I think it's because again, of the nature of it being like open source and like everything's voluntary. And, there's definitely ways to kind of get in there. And I think that I've brought this up to other people um, on like podcast episodes and things like that. And I should definitely, I'm gonna take blame for this. I should definitely be more, if I care more about the direction of WordPress, I should go into like the Slack groups and things like that or whatever for WordPress and, kind of tell them, because that is the beauty of open source. It's amazing. It's just the problem is that like, I don't know. I don't necessarily know. If you don't really agree with the entire direction, I don't necessarily know what you could ultimately do there. Again, I mean, you could, cast your vote and hope it works, but okay. So I'm not saying not to do that. I think we should all probably do that. So we'll talk separately about that. But the point is that just like, again, on the meta of looking at it, because I'm still in the observing phase kind of with it. I do talk a little bit about it, but I'm not like actually, I haven't really wrapped my head fully around it yet. Some of you guys may be able to educate me more that you've been here longer, but I still have to fully wrap my head around it. So, but the point is that now I'm starting to get to that point where it's like, I see that some people are like more business minded. Some people are more just like open source and just benefit everyone minded. Not really anything wrong with either of those. However, fundamentally, just like with like, it's unavoidable that we're kind of at this point now where there's multiple directions that we could go. There's multiple things that we could do. There's multiple different like almost like subsects of the audience of WordPress and the user base of WordPress. And it's always sort of been like that to a degree. I think at first maybe it was a lot of like DIYers building their own sites and things, and then like agency owners. But now it's kind of like I just feel like the difference is palpable. Like you can understand what's kind of going on. And obviously now with the fact, hey, random guy, thank you, Florida. SureCart tutorials. Fun fact, sidebar. I've never actually I used SureCart like one time, but definitely looking into it now. And I could talk about that for a quick second because it's very related to what this is. If we talk about like, the options of WooCommerce, right? Like people like think of WooCommerce and like, oh, we don't want to use WooCommerce because it's convoluted, whatever. I don't really have a problem with it, but like SureCart as an example. Well, okay, if you're normally on WordPress, you have WooCommerce, or there's probably some other ones, and then SureCart's probably like second in the running there to overtake WooCommerce. But then if you don't want to use either of those, then where do you go? Well, you probably go to like Shopify, right? Because that's like a really, really good e-commerce platform. But then in my mind, it's like, where's Shopify at on the robustness of the things that you can do and all different stuff. I was looking at somebody really interesting. I don't have the link right now, but somebody posted in the admin bar, which you guys should go be a part of that if you're not already over on Facebook. Somebody posted, and they were like, I moved from Webflow to WordPress. So this again, I'm going back and forth here, but there's a couple of different things here. There's the differences of what you can do in WordPress, but then there's also outside of WordPress options. So that's kind of where we're at here right now, right? And it's like, if you want to do e-commerce, then Shopify is a really, really good option. But what are you losing if you go to Shopify? Like what functionality, flexibility, and things like that? Are you adding, gaining, things like that? And I just, it's tough because people don't like WooCommerce for certain reasons, but then you lose functionality over potentially in Shopify and control and things like that. And, it's a tough conversation. What do we got here, Evan? The macro view is looking promising. Gutenberg is starting to catch up, but it's not quite there yet. Page builders like bricks fill a gap. Exactly. So I feel like that's kind of the best possible situation is where core gets really good and potentially overtakes, page builders and stuff like that. But for me, here's the thing. It's like, if core doesn't get to where like bricks is, then I'm always going to have to use bricks. And it's like, maybe I continue to use core for certain things, but I don't know. I mean, admittedly too, like I haven't used core enough to fully make a judgment on that, but I don't know. It's just a weird situation that we're kind of in right now. And again, I don't even care if I use bricks for a year or for 10 years or what. I don't care. Like, I don't care if I switch to core tomorrow and like can do everything that I want to do on it or whatever. But my thing is like, I just want us to continue to move in the right direction because I've already invested, a good portion of my life into WordPress. And if I have to change again, I'm going to be completely candid with you. If I have to change to Webflow or something like that at some point, I'm not going to I don't want to do that, but like I'm going to do what's best for like kind of my business in its state that it's in as we continue to move forward. And like for me, I still fully believe, and I don't see really a world where WordPress isn't the best in this category because of the lead it has, but obviously it could happen. So I think it's just important to have these conversations. And again, I think it's important to be involved in everything like that as well. And I need to do a better job of that. And I think we all probably can. But I don't know. We'll have to see on that. What do we got here? Random guy. Shopify sucks, bro. My store was banned for selling Trump hats and Republican t-shirts. See, I don't know the ins and outs of how that works. And obviously that's, I feel bad for you, random guy. I don't know like WooCommerce has, I don't know if it's political based specifically like with Trump or Biden or whatever, but I know like with WooCommerce, for instance, like there's certain things you can't sell, like, like, I don't know if it's just specifically firearms or, whatever else, like stuff like that. But that's the thing is like, we certain things obviously cause, I guess, more liability in ways, but like certain things are like, again, we have this like democratized publishing and open source nature. And I know WooCommerce is kind of separate, obviously, from like core and everything. It's kind of a tangential discussion, but as a technology though, I've used Shopify before. And the thing is, again, this is another thing that I try not to do. And I'm definitely a culprit of, but I try not to talk about tools that I don't use too heavily because I don't use them enough to know. Like I use bricks enough to know, and I use Elementor enough to know where they're at. I don't even really use core enough to necessarily know where it's at. So I try to stray away from that, but I consume enough content to like understand kind of like what it's like. And but with Shopify, for instance, I don't watch like Shopify content, but I have built a store in Shopify, and it was pretty recently, and it just didn't give me what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't give me the experience that I wanted, where it's like, oh, if I want to like do something specific, it reminded me of early WP days where you had to pick a theme and you had to put the shit where it goes. You know what I mean? Like it's like you got text here, you got image here, you can kind of like do some simple editing or whatever, but it's not a page building experience. And I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they have like a page building experience. I think it's really good for selling shit, because that's what it's meant for, and it is the best. And when people think, oh, you want to sell random crap online, go to Shopify. But there's a deeper discussion to be had, and it's more so about, there's a deeper discussion to be had. And for me, this is where I'm going to throw in the preface of before that we had, right? First, I'm going to read Evan's comment though, because I appreciate you guys engaging with the stream. Shopify has its place depending on the goal. The target market is for business owners that want it all on one platform. See, like that's a great point there. I was talking to, I don't know if I was talking to, or if it was in one of these videos that I want to share. I think it was in one of these videos where they, the idea of Shopify is like the experience is good. The WooCommerce backend, like the admin portion, could be better. If you're used to it, you kind of know what you're getting, and it's not like the worst thing, or you can be trained on it. But like Shopify, like pretty sure they have an app. I think WooCommerce might, or WordPress might have an app as well and stuff like that. I think WooCommerce does now, but it's just a nice thing, right? You can have it all, like Evan said, you can have it all in one place. You can it's simple. It's simple to set up. The product management is probably easier. It's just built for that. Like WooCommerce is built for e-commerce, but it's built atop WordPress, which was built for blogging. And that's the other thing too, is like that's not what WordPress is anymore for the most part. It's completely different. It's a platform that has evolved so heavily over the years, and it's just interesting because it's still trying to figure out, like, I guess it's evolved, but it's kind of different than its original goal was, is the way that I kind of see it. So I don't know. Shopify's setup is super simple in comparison. That's the other thing too, is like, yeah, you just pop in a couple things. And you know why though? It's because it's very niche. Like it knows what you're there for. You're not there to create a blog, generally. You're not there to create like a membership platform. I mean, maybe to a certain extent, but you're there to sell shit. Like it knows. And that's going back to my tweet. That's the beauty. Like we have so many options. It's so robust. But with options, with great power comes great responsibility, Spider-Man, whatever. I mean, that is the thing. Like you have to realize what the playground that you're in with WordPress. And you have to understand like that there's a lot of options. And again, both sides of it. There's going to be tough things. There's going to be easy things, but I just, that's why I don't see it. I don't see it going away by any means, or, but you have to still think about, we want to push in a direction that keeps it afloat. And I'm not saying it's not, it's just confusing. It's literally just too confusing because we have too many people talking about different things and trying to push in different ways. It's interesting. Quick question from Nathan here. With your client portal, is there another way other than Jet Engine? So specifically with that, if you go back and look at those two videos on the channel from before, the first one I did Elementor and like some other stuff, and then the new one is going to be Bricks. If other than Jet Engine, honestly, I would do ACF would be my second choice. So I would definitely look into that. I just use Jet Engine because I have it. I have the lifetime deal, and it's the best that I've seen because it has all the ACF stuff in it, but it also has all these other, plugins and things like that I've definitely used on a lot of occasions. So definitely check that out, Nathan. We could talk more so at the end too about more technical stuff there if you want to dive into that. Okay, first Shopify's froze my money for 90 days and banned my store. My store label was hate e-commerce. I never had something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you got to read the terms and conditions, I guess. See, again, as another tangential thing, that's one of those things where this is actually way bigger than people fucking make it seem, honestly. Like WordPress is cool because it's open source. There's still like probably like, again, at the top, I feel like, kind of more of the committee and things like that, but it's cool that it's open source and it's like very public sort of in that way. But these platforms like Webflow, Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, they're closed, obviously. They're private companies. Maybe not private companies. Maybe they're public companies, but they're private in nature, right? Like you can't like see what they're doing and shit. So like they have even more probably restrictions from terms and conditions, things like that on being banned and things. But the bigger thing is like I don't know if you have the control in WordPress. But honestly, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start adding conversations and questions and things like that into into the Slack channels and stuff. I still haven't got it in there. So like I'll deal with that. But my point is like over on these other platforms, you can put in feature requests, but I guess I don't. Every platform is different about how much they care about their users. You know what I mean? So like I don't know exactly. It's just something that's kind of a little weird, and you got to always be careful of like what somebody is going to potentially ban you for, or what the terms are. Right? YouTube's the same way. I mean, it's like you can't do certain things and things like that. And I don't know, it's tough. I don't know. But thank you, random guy, for subscribing. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys all being here. And yeah, Nathan, Evan and Nathan there. Metabox is great too. I can be more advanced. Yeah, I've used ACF. Like I said, there's a new one, ACPT, I think as well. I've just been using Jet Engine since I needed it for something. I needed nested queries. Quick aside, I needed nested loops for a project like 2 years ago, and I couldn't do it with base Elementor because at that time they didn't even have like a loop builder. And yeah, and since now I have bricks now, so it fixes all those problems. But yeah, that's when I invested in a Jet Engine. And if you haven't messed with it, I would at least look at some tutorials and things like that and check it out, because depending on what you need and what you want, there's definitely some thoughts there around that. That would definitely, depending on what you need, it's definitely a good platform that I really enjoy. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I really want to do this, and I hope that it works, but I don't know, and we probably won't do a whole lot of it anyway here. But what I want to do is I want to go over here, and so this gentleman, I just found this guy, Lee Blue. I don't know if you guys know him. You probably do, because he seems like he's a pretty popular guy. But I just saw this video. I don't know where it came up and what it is, but you can see over here what the thumbnail was. Will WordPress split? I don't know. Maybe just because the things I talk about that came up, but I think it was in the recommended. And I just subscribed to Lee here, and you should definitely too. You should definitely go watch this video here. If you just go, it's the most recent video on his channel. What I wanted to do was kind of like watch this video a little bit and with you guys and kind of react to some of it. I've already watched it through. I definitely want to do that more often, because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I watch YouTube videos and I listen to shit, and then I like pause it, and I'm either walking around my house or sitting at my desk, and I just start talking. Like I just start saying my opinions and my thought processes on it. And Lee does a great job here of just kind of like explaining, you know, the overview of his perspective on like why WordPress and like other platforms and things like that. And I don't know, I just really enjoy it. So I might just, I can't remember which specific parts in here were like really good and stuff like that. So maybe just go check this out. But he talks about a lot of the same things that I talked about here. And then there's another one here where Paul WP Toots, again, amazing. Go subscribe. I'm sure you guys know who he is. But another great video here is this Gutenberg and bricks. So I just want to use this to kind of tee up another topic that is very, very similar to this, and goes directly back to the thing that I was talking about with the nuance of everybody being different. So this, and again, Paul is a legend, and he's doing this to showcase the power of this platform, Gutenbricks, right? And if you don't know what this is, again, go check out one of the most recent videos here with Paul. But the essence of what this is that you can create templates in bricks, and then you can just drop them into the Gutenberg editor, and you can make changes to the Gutenberg editor right here as you go through it, right? Like, so you can like drop in like, this was basically built in bricks, I guess. And then you could click on this text and you can change it, right? So where it says like change text, like you change that from a different, heading, right? And the thing here, this is one of those videos where like I'm watching this, I'm intrigued because I use bricks and I don't really hand client sites off or anything like that, but it is something that I'm, I don't know, just want to be updated on bricks and everything like that, right? And it's good. It's a good video. You can change backgrounds, all that sort of stuff. Again, go watch this video if you have not. Taking these headphones out because I don't think I need them. But I want to talk about this, okay? I want to talk about this briefly. That is a fantastic video. And again, this isn't about Paul. This is about just my observation of that. It's a fantastic video, and it's something that is awesome. But here's how I process that. The way that I process that concept is that is definitely for a certain person, like a certain agency, a certain business owner, a certain person or whatever. Like, don't think that's for me, but it may be for you. But I think that right there is like something. Maybe it just happens subconsciously, but just the way that my mind works, I want to be the person that injects that perspective and that prep that that little bit of extra context into the content that I have. Meaning, if I made a video where I was talking about a certain way of doing things, I would be like, if you are in this if you are in this situation, if your business operates like this is maybe something you want to consider. If you're not in this camp or in this position, then it's probably something that's not really going to make sense for you. Because I'm watching that video. And again, maybe I'm just not the right audience member, but still, I think that there's something here. I don't want to hand my client sites off personally. Like, at least right now in 2024, that's my current opinion. Like, I don't want to do that. Okay. Like, I don't understand exactly why. I do in a way understand why people want to do that, but I don't want to do it because I want to be their digital partner, their digital marketing partner. I don't fundamentally believe that they should be messing with their websites. The clients should be messing with their websites. Like, I think that there is a better use of their time than to be messing with their websites. I think that I'm a website development, design, marketing professional. That is my job. Now, is that right for every client? Absolutely fucking not. Like, there's no way that, like, Sally down the street or whatever in their corner store can afford to pay, 20,000 for a website, and then, I don't know, 300 a month for management, and then, 2,000 a month for SEO or whatever. Okay. Maybe it's not the right fit. But my thing is, like, we have gotten to this weird point. Okay. There's 3 fucking things that I just thought of off the top of my head that are extremely weird right now. The first is that the tools are becoming easier to use. We got Gutenberg, we got Wix, the democratizing of publishing thing, right? That Wix and have followed in suit with. Okay, so the tools are easier. I don't think that's a bad thing. I do think there's some slight concerns though, because you can't encapsulate and abstract everything away to the nth degree and then think that the product is still going to necessarily be exactly the same. So that's a little bit, that's a little concerning. But hopefully over time it would continue to evolve. So that's one thing. The tools have gotten better. The barrier of entry because of that has gotten lower. Like, if you think about it, if you say to a business owner, hey, you can pay $30 a month to go and build your website on Wix, or I can build it for you for $5,000. It's like, if you don't add anything else to that value equation there, it's kind of a tough sell. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, I'll just figure it out myself. Thanks. So, that's, okay. So the tools have gotten easier. The barrier of entry has, because of that, gotten smaller. And then you layer on top, like, AI, which I don't even really want to fucking talk about, but then you layer on AI, which is like, now it's like, not only are the people to do the work expensive or being, commoditized, race to the bottom thing. So it's just like a rat race. Then the tools are easy. So I could just do this myself. But then we have AI too, that is generally kind of cheapish. It's getting cheaper. Now it's like, I don't have to pay anybody. I don't have to do it myself. I could just have AI do it. It's just a weird situation. And all of the culmination of stuff, again, I'm not saying that it's any person's fault or whatever, but the culmination of all that is that we are in a very strange place. Because where does this go next? It's like, and what should you do next as like a person in this industry? Should you continue to better your skills and continue to be like, I'm going to outpace the AI and everything like that, which, again, I'm not trying to be like AI, Armageddon type thing here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to, like, paint this picture. I don't think we're ever really going to get, I'm not going to say that, because I do think maybe like in 2,000 years it'll be totally different. But I think that, in our lifetimes, I don't think we're going to have like a real issue with this. I think we're going to be fine. But my point is, though, it's more about optics. Okay. It's not really about reality in a way. It's like, if my client thinks that the AI can do a better job, or my prospect thinks the AI can do a better job than me, then I'm out of fucking work. Okay. So it's like, how am I going to balance this where I have to explain to them and educate them that I don't believe it's the best use of their time to do the things that they're trying to do. Let me do it because I'm a professional, right? It's like, you can do this in your house, right? You can try to change your water heater, or you can hire a fucking plumber, you know? So it's like, that's kind of where I'm at, right? And I'm trying to navigate that kind of alongside you guys. And the reason this came up from the Gutenbricks thing is because I don't want to hold my client sites hostage. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm in the business of doing. They own the thing. They have, admin access, like back, like a secondary admin access thing. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I am trying to do though, is I'm trying to make them understand that fundamentally, no matter what, it is not, unless certain use cases, certain corner cases, it is not the best use of their time to mess with the website. And the only way that you do that is to establish like authority in the space. And whether that's, again, content or just like selling them better on the concept of it or whatever it is, somehow you have to do that. And again, I'm navigating that as well, but I think that just at least having that thought process at first, where I'm not going to hand this off, I'm actually going to manage this, and I'm going to take ownership of this and responsibility for it, and you're going to pay me for that, but I'm going to help you grow, more of an ROI positive conversation rather than just, hey, I want you to build a website and never talk to me again type thing, or I want to build your website and never talk to you again. I just think that's gonna win out, because if we go back to the AI thing just for a second, there'll definitely be advancements, but at least right now, your biggest bargaining chip there is that is the AI still relies heavily on the human. Like I use AI, and I guess I'm not good enough at prompting, but I don't get the shit that I want. And prompting is a skill in itself. So my thing is like that's kind of where I'm at, is if you can continue to be a valuable asset to your prospects, to your clients, then I think you're going to be all right. And I don't know. I don't I don't want my clients dicking around with the website. It kind of is another way to think. Like I don't like that. I don't think I have a fundamental problem. A good idea. Like I don't see that as being a good idea. And that's why, like, a Gutenbricks as an example, again, great technology. I'm saying from my personal business experience, and again, please put create your own perspective and opinion around this based off your personal perspective, but also like how you utilize these tools. Just for me, it doesn't do that. As another aside, is like, if I was going to do that, like, that's kind of cool, but I just build in Gutenberg then, I feel like, and in bricks. But yeah, Evan loves Gutenberg. So I love a concept as well. I just personally, in my business, I don't, it doesn't jive with kind of like what the main fish that I'm going after. But again, for some people it might really. But it's definitely cool. It's definitely an interesting concept. Evan, I don't know if it impacts your business at all. That'd be kind of interesting if you can kind of get into the templating game there with Bonsai. But yeah, I mean, it's cool concept. Definitely love the technology. I love the innovation. I just think there's a lot of things, like I said, that we're kind of we're packing on there. And again, that's the beauty and curse of WordPress. So again, I want to wrap this up, sort of like just at least put a bow on this by saying, yeah, 100%, Evan. It definitely depends on the client you're developing for. And I think a lot of people are probably like kind of in that camp where, I don't know, small businesses and things like that, which again, I definitely do business with, but I just feel like, honestly though, with them, even to a greater extent, sometimes they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like they don't know marketing, because they're a small business and they're most of the time they're in their business. So it's like, that's another one where it's like, I don't want them to touch the website either. The only people that I think that should be touching the website are people that have full scale marketing teams and just don't want to develop the thing. And then that's where you can hand it off. And that's like, not even like, I mean, at that point, it's going to be like I don't know. I mean, they might think that a $40,000 a year employee or whatever, executive assistant can handle those little things. And I mean, there are certain pieces of it that they definitely could, but I don't know. It's just a weird spot. We do 50 sites a year. Only a handful actually have backend access. See, like, that's the thing is, traditionally for me, I've given people access to just like custom post types. Like they don't get builder. They absolutely don't get like bricks access. They don't get any of that. They get specific locked down pieces that they can edit. which is literally like maybe adding a blog post or adding a team member, deleting a team member, stuff like that, and maybe adding a service, but that most of the time that affects the whole thing too much. So, things that are like relatively inconsequential. And to me, that's a good middle ground. And I don't have a problem with that most of the time because I don't necessarily want to be the person like, like doing the stupid little things for them. Like if they can add a team member, well, actually, I was always under the opinion I was always of the opinion that if they need to add a team member, it is probably faster for them to put in the first name, last name, the email, and put in the picture and put in the description and just press send, or just press update rather than sending me that information. Now I'm kind of the opinion though, it's like if I actually want to take hold of that, I should probably add that into my service offering from a monthly standpoint, some sort of, level of that, because I don't actually care, and I can do it way faster and way more efficient than them. And also a super nuanced thing is like the picture part. Like they're inevitably gonna upload something that's gonna, even if you have optimization on, they're gonna end up uploading something that doesn't work, doesn't fit, doesn't like is huge or something like that. It's gonna be a nightmare. So I think for me, that's where I'm headed. Is I'm gonna charge more of a premium for the website management for a monthly situation. I'm going to take care of it for them. It's going to be ROI positive. And honestly, the other thing, I'm going to make a video of this because I recently have redone the monthly engagement, and I think it's already working, but I think it's going to work very well. Is the monthly, people call it a care plan. I like to call it website management at this point, but you get hosting, you get SSL, you get all this shit, you get the whole stack and everything. You get the agency licenses. But the key here for me is that to set this expectation is you contracted us to build this website. We built this website for you. Now it's not over. Okay. This is an ongoing relationship. Like first of all, we need to manage the website for you, host it and everything like that. But not just that. We want to be your partner. So built in for $300 a month right now, built in is 30 minutes of my time talking to them every month, going over just like the basic analytics and things like that. Ask them, how did business go last month? Compare that to the data that we saw through the website and the stuff that we're tracking. And then be like, okay, for next month and moving forward, like maybe it makes sense to add some stuff like pages and things like that. And this is all paid. Like the meeting itself is included, but it's really a sales call in a way. It's a review and sales call. Like we're not going to actually do any work. We've set the tools up and everything like that to gather data, but we're not doing any work moving forward. We are just without obviously, charging for a mini project or whatever. But that is the idea there is I think that what I've done in the past poorly is communicate with my clients ongoing like that. And I think that is like the key to being like, hey, we're actually not just like taking the fee and doing nothing. Not only are we maintaining the website, but we actually want your business to grow because guess what? That's good for us too. Because if you got a business, we lose a client. So that's the kind of thing. Let's see. Does Jet Engine allow you to restrict image file size on uploads? I'm not sure if there is a custom snippet you can add. Probably. I'm sure there's definitely a way to do. Well, actually, I know there's definitely a max file size. But to me though, here's how that's going to go. Again, cynical worst case scenario. They're going to try to upload an image that's 5 megabytes. And the max size is going to be 1 megabyte. And then instead of doing it themselves, they're just going to email me anyway. So, and again, I don't want them to email me. I want to create, ideally you create like a better process through like some sort of, again, the client portal videos, like something like through there where you set that expectation that they're only putting in support requests through that, which is definitely on my radar because I don't want to deal with email and it's another nightmare. But my point being is that, there definitely is probably a way there, but I just feel like, again, maybe it's just I've set poor expectations in the past, but if they run into an issue, they're just going to email me or contact me anyway. So if I just head that up kind of from the beginning, it actually might be way faster. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm still kind of I'm still kind of formulating all the opinions there, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. But yeah. So again, to summarize, WordPress is interesting. There's a lot going on. I still love it as a platform. I used Webflow, random thing, because I was having a conversation yesterday about this, and Webflow is an interesting platform. I did try it one time, and at the time I was like, I don't know if I just didn't understand the editor or what it was, but I think that there is promise there, and that's kind of like the slight concern, is that I think WordPress will always be there, but it's just they do a really good job of educating, from what I understand. And if WordPress, I don't understand exactly how WordPress makes money per se, obviously, right? But I would think that it's somehow tied to the market share piece. I mean, if it's always the big thing that we talk about, it's just I hope we continue to trend, at least stay the same and don't go down. So I don't know. Just we'll see what continues to happen with it. But yeah, would love to see your process. You can automate that with snippets and templates. Yeah, I'll definitely make some content on that, because like I said, with the client portal thing specifically, definitely going to do something there. Although also, I'm thinking, just real quick there, in the past, what I actually did was so I had this situation. I didn't want them to log in. So I created a password protected page with a form on it. And it was actually like an ACF. This is back when I was using ACF, but it was an ACF front end submission form with that front end plugin. And so they uploaded that stuff, and then they could do that. But you can do that the reason I'm bringing that up is you can do that with Jet Form Builder, which is the plugin that comes with Crocoblock, the Crocoblock suite, which is a really powerful plugin, especially if you're using Jet Engine. And the pro version has like a lot of cool things, including post management. But I actually recently switched to WS Form because Mark Westgard is literally a genius, and really love that guy. I got to have him on the channel. But I switched to WS Form, which has like even way more shit, like from a form plugin perspective. Like, I don't know why everybody's not using WS Form, to be honest. I got to make more specific content about it because it's redonkulous. But I know that with those types of form plugins, you can definitely, check for file size and things like that, kind of automatically. And yeah, depending on what it is, I don't know. Obviously, if they did something bigger, then you could probably automatically shrink it as well. I've tried to reorganize my process around that. I've tried to do, for the stuff that I do, I try to compress them offline, and then also serve them in next gen with like a short pixel once I do upload like the smaller one. So I'm still kind of in the process of working through that. But yeah, WS Form is king. It's the best. It's the best there is. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why everybody's not using it. I mean, it's relatively affordable, especially if you're doing a lot of projects. And I mean, it's just obnoxious the amount of integrations that he has. I mean, I got to talk about this too. Maybe make specific content on it, but I recently switched from, I was using HubSpot. I still am using HubSpot for the agency, but for the MJS stuff, I was using HubSpot. And I'll still probably use it to a certain degree because I love that you can track emails and stuff, but I think you can do that on other platforms. But if you guys know who Sunny is from New Pulse Labs, buddy of mine, go check out his channel, just New Pulse Labs. He turned me on to Bento, which Bento is like a new, it's not, I don't even think it's new. I think it's actually 5 or 6 years old, but like it's new to me. And it's a emailing platform that also has like chat in it and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, I can't remember the pricing structure and everything like that, but just Bento, look it up, and Bento email, and you'll find it. It's like I think it's a little bear, I think maybe icon or something. And maybe it's a pink. Is that a panda? I don't know. But yeah, it's a really nifty platform. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I was like, there's no way WS Form's going to have it. Had it. Unbelievable. I think it was in part thanks to Sunny as well, because he was lobbying for it. But it's just amazing that like anything that you think of, WS Form just has it, or Mark will just make it for you. He's the best. So I just love it. But yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else we can chat about. We can run in some other topics, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make this video because I want to stay on these topics. I want to stay on this kind of keep my finger on the heartbeat of kind of how WordPress is going, and the community and everything like that. Because I've really started to create some really good relationships, especially again over these past few weeks too, like with security and everything like that going on. I am just not where I want to be exactly with all that. I want to nail a lot more of that down. I want to make sure that I continue to try to educate you guys too. Anybody that that is so nice to listen to what I have to say. I want to try to keep, evolving and helping you guys as much as possible. And the security thing, just as a quick aside, is another, concern, because that was another thing that person said when they said they switched from Webflow to WordPress. That was their main thing, is like, I want to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. I switched because I wanted more robustness and things like that. And, but now I have to manage more stuff. And again, it's the beauty and the curse. It's like, there's just, it's I guess blessing and curse, but it's something that we have to deal with, and we have to make sure that we're up to date on, because we do have to manage more stuff than you would if you were on a Shopify any other closed solution. But I think in a lot of ways it's worth it. And like I said, I just don't want to see it go away in any way. I'm not saying it's on that path, but I want to make sure that it continues to kind of move in a direction that is good for as many people as possible. And again, I would just love, I'm going to say this, I would love to have a conversation, specifically because I have no idea the answer to this question. I'm just going to throw it out there. I would love to have a conversation, or just research, like, how does WordPress, what is like the main driver of WordPress? Like, for instance, if I don't know if this is true, if the market share fell to like 15% of the internet, does that somehow inherently affect not the valuation of WordPress, but like the interest in WordPress, or the ability to WordPress to continue to grow? I mean, because you would have to think about this, right? Like, if this shit is all voluntary, right? Why would you, if it was 2% of the internet, there's no way that the same amount of people would be contributing to it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I feel like, just, again, hypothesis. That's why I feel like that's got to be a big contributor to the fact that there's so many people contributing. And I just don't want to see it go the other way, because I feel like that's got to be inherently proportional to how the platform will continue to evolve. I don't know. So it's an interesting situation. I don't know the answer to it, but I do know that I'm going to continue to obviously do the portal series and all sorts of other stuff, and continue to create content on these plugins and things like that, because I really do enjoy the people that I'm meeting, and the stuff that we're doing here. And it's going well so far. Like I said, I really appreciate all the support from you guys. Thank you so much. Today's stream has been fantastic, as always. Love chatting with you guys. Love hearing what you got going on, and your thoughts and opinions on things. If there's anything specific you guys want to see me cover, I'm doing my best to kind of keep a list of everything and kind of knock them off one by one. Obviously, the portal series is a big deal, because building that for myself and trying to get that out there. But I definitely want to talk more like this, not just on live streams, but in specific, shorter videos about different topics, because I do think that one brings people more into the channel and into the fold, and into kind of like, gets people thinking and stuff. But also, just I really enjoy doing those things, because I think it's almost more fun than just building. So, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much all for attending. Love the comments, love the engagement, love the support. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. And I will talk to you